Hello everyone and welcome again to this channel. Today we will be doing the second in a series of quantitative reasoning exercises. If you haven't already checked out my first video on quantitative reasoning exercises, I'll put the link up here. Feel free to check it in your own time. In that video, I shared with you some of the reasons why quantitative reasoning is important and how it helps to support our mental well-being and critical thinking skills, and just helps our brain to stay sharp for longer and as we grow older. So today I'm going to be doing the second in the series, and I've got 4 questions today, and these questions are not supposed to be more complex than the very first set. They're just different random questions. So let's get started quickly. For the first question here, you will see 4 boxes, and each box has 4 numbers except the 4th box on the lower right hand corner. So essentially the question is asking us to fill in that box to find out what is supposed to be in that box. And remember, when we talk about quantitative reasoning, we're talking about connecting patterns and understanding sequences, understanding the way things work, the way things are ordered and are arranged. And so in order to answer the question, to find out what's missing in this box, we will need to understand the three complete boxes, understand how the numbers are arranged and how they come about. So I'm going to take the very first box on the left hand corner here, where we've got 2 on the top, 4, 6 and 12. So mere looking at this, I think I'm going to draw that box. Well, it's something like this, and we've got 2, 4, 12 and 6. So mere looking at this box, I think that 6 multiplied by 2 will give us 12 here. But what about this 4? Well, I think that 4 plus 2 gives us 6, and then 6 multiplied by 2 gives us 12. Let's see if that works for the other 2 boxes. So 1 times 7 on the top here gives us 7. Okay, but 7 times 7 doesn't give us 15, it gives us 49. So that automatically we know that that's not the way the boxes have been arranged. Let's go back to the first one and see if we can find another way around this. So if we add 4 to 2, we get 6, and then add 6, we get 12. All right, so if you add all other numbers, you get the bottom one. Let's see if that works for the next box. If you add 1 to 7, we have 8, and then plus 7 we have 15. So that seems to work. Let's try it on the third box and see. If we add 2 to 14, we get 16, and then add 3, we get 19. So that appears to be the way the numbers are arranged in this exercise. So it does mean that 11 here plus 4 and plus whatever should be in this box should give us 21. So what we want to do is then subtract 11 and 4 from 21, and then minus 4, and that should give us, so then 6 is the correct answer. All right, let's go to the next question. So this is a similar question. We've got a missing number in the third box. So what we need to do here is to understand the patterns in the first 2 boxes and then use that to solve the third box. Take a moment to think about what is going on in the first 2 boxes. Taking a look at the first row, we've got 5 and 3, and that gives us 8. We've got 4 and 9. If you add that together, that gives us 13. So I would say that this, pattern works for the first box, but we need to check that it works for the second box as well. So 2 plus 7 gives us 9, and then 3 plus 1 gives us 4. So that seems to work for the second pattern. It then means that that should work for the third pattern. Okay, so 3 here plus 6 gives us 9. So that works. And then the missing number in the box should be 7 plus 1. And that should give us 8. So let's go to the next question. Again, take a moment, pause the video, take a moment to think about what is happening here. We've got 3 triangles, each with 4 numbers, except the third triangle, which has a question mark on the top. And we need to find out what number should be there. Pause this video and think about what patterns these triangles have here. Alright, so we will see from the first triangle that if we multiply 5 and 3, we get 15. Okay, we get 15. But we're trying to arrive at 24 right in the middle here. So how does this 3 help us to arrive at 24? I mean, we could also have 5 plus 3 and that gives us 8. And then ask the question, how does 3 help us to arrive at 24? Well, if we multiply 8 by 3, we get 24. Okay, so that seems to work. If we multiply, we add 5 and 3 together and then multiply that by 3 to give us the number in the middle here. But we could also think about another method, and that is if we multiply 5 by 3 here, we get 15. And how does 3 help us to get at 24? Well, 24 minus 15 gives us 9, and the square root of 9 is equal to 3. So that's another way. So 2 patterns, we can see 2 patterns here, or 2 methods of solving this triangle. Let's check those 2 methods out on the second triangle. So if we try the first method, which is to add these 2 numbers together, the 2 lower numbers 4 and 2 together. So 4 and 2 together, we get 6. And if we multiply 6 by 4, we get 24. So that works. But then let's try our second method, which is to multiply 4 and 2. We multiply 4 and 2 together, we get 8. Now, how does 4 help us to arrive at 24 if we've got 8? Remember, for the first triangle, we subtracted 15 from 9 and then found the square root of that. Well, if we subtract 8 from 24, we get 16. And what is the square root of 16? 4. So again, the second method seems to work for this. So let's use any of the 2 methods to check out the third triangle and see if we arrive at the same answer. Okay, so the first method says we add 8 and 4 together, and that gives us 12. What do we multiply by 12 to give us 24? That is 2. So the first method gives us 2 as an answer. Let's try out the second method and see what answer we get. Now the second method says we multiply these 2 numbers, and when we multiply them together, when we multiply 8 and 4 together, we get 32. If we try to subtract 32 from 24, we get a negative minus 8. And we can't really find the square root of minus 8. So from this, we can see that our first method is the actual method of solving this. So sometimes you would have this dilemma, but if you follow through till the end, you will eventually arrive at the correct method for solving any of these kinds of exercises. All right, let's go over to the next question. And I like this because it's a sort of a puzzle. And it says that the girl has brown eyes. Well, does this matter? Does it not matter? She went out to view the skies, and she saw an apple tree with apples on it. She definitely saw an apple tree with apples on it. Now, she neither took apples nor left apples. How many apples were on the tree? That's a bit tricky. So In the third row, we see that she saw an apple tree with apples on it. Apples, so more than one apple. But then what happens next is she doesn't take apples and she doesn't leave apples behind. So how come there were apples on the tree if she doesn't take apples with her nor leaves apples behind? And now the question asks, how many apples were on the tree? I say that's a bit tricky, but if you think about it just a little bit, pause this video and think about it just a little bit, see if you arrive at something. Think outside of the box. All right. Well, I think that the answer lies in this word apples. So first of all, she definitely saw apples on the tree. And then she neither took apples, but she might have taken apple. She might have taken one apple. And since she saw apples on the tree, it means there must have been more than one apple, which she must have left behind. Right. So since she didn't leave apples, it means it must have been one apple left behind. So if she took one apple and she left one apple behind, it means that there were two apples on the tree. So somehow we've ended up solving this puzzle because, well, she didn't take apples. She took an apple. And she didn't leave apples. She left an apple. So that's solved. And then she saw apples on the tree, which means what? It's plural, two apples she saw on the tree initially. So yeah, that was it. Did you get it the first time? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, so we've gone through the 4 questions and we're here with a take-home question for you. Now, we've got 9 dots in this image below, and I want you to connect all 9 dots with only 4 straight lines. Now, when you connect the dots, do not lift your pencil in the process. Okay? For instance, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So if you wanted to connect these 3, for instance, you must not lift your pencil and go up here again. You must continue from this point where you stop to draw another straight line, something like this. So go ahead and try this out, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching and bye for now.